What's going on, guys? This is Joe Young coming at you another weekly video for you guys. So today I'm going to kind of just go through a bunch of stuff that I need to do with a bunch of the tanks. So you guys are going to see bits and pieces of, I guess, maintenance and feeding and some stuff here and there. So I hope you guys enjoy. So starting the update off, we're going to talk about the discus. So the discus are doing really great. The tank, it's kind of meh right now because obviously I don't have enough plants to kind of support this light here, and this is already at 50%. What I can actually do is probably remove one of the bulbs here and just probably, you know, not output as much light. But right now, just really we'll figure it out. But as you can see, there's a lot of cyanobacteria in the tank right now. The water flow is just up here, not down there, so that's why it's not really getting that much circulation. To kind of give you guys an update in terms of the spawning for the discus, I mean, they've been spawning literally every 2 weeks or so, and every time they would lay, they would eat their eggs like within a couple of days. So still trying to figure that part out. I did make a really cool little new net here, this guy here. I want to make a video on how to do this. It's pretty easy, but it's plastic. I had a couple versions of this, and it fits perfectly on the cone so they can protect the eggs. Try that a couple times to see what happens. But anyways, let me go ahead and start cleaning some of this cyanobacteria out, and then we can continue with the update.
My head is heavy, let me lay it down into your lap, I would love to drown. I need that story I used to hear, to run on into and disappear.
Alright, so the tank's gonna probably be a little bit dirty for a little bit until things settle. I had to end up cleaning the intake there. It's because I have a little mesh in there to kind of prevent little fries to get sucked up in there, and it gets clogged probably once a week, so I have to kind of shake that dude up to make sure that the flow is still going really well in the tank. But yeah, the tank's doing its thing, and we'll move on to the next one. Alright, so today is the big day for the Red Tiger Plecos. These are the L397 Plecos. I had these guys, like I mentioned in the previous video, for about 2 to 3 months in quarantine, monitoring them, making sure they eat, making sure they're doing well before I actually move them out into the rack. That was always the original plan I had in mind, was to, get these guys, make sure they eat, and then go ahead and move them into that rack so they actually grow, breed, and then, just do their thing. So right now I'm going to go ahead and try to catch these guys and see how much of a fight they put up, and we'll go from there. So I hope that these guys adjust well to the new environment, because they're going from a non-CO2 tank to a CO2 tank, which is the rack system. So the rack right now is out of CO2, so we'll see what happens on Monday when I actually can fill up the CO2 and go ahead and start using CO2 again in that rack. But I don't think the fish will have any issues transitioning to a CO2 tank. The CO2 is dialed in, so it should be perfectly fine for these plecos. So let's get a quick update in one of my 60Ps here. This 60P is housing my swordtail fries. I guess they're not really fries, any of them, they're juveniles. They're pretty big here, but I want to grow them slightly bigger, and then kind of just, I guess, handpick certain ones and then go ahead and throw them into the rack system to keep a nice set of koi swordtails and kind of crossbreed and make a new nice little species here. This tank has been struggling with black beard algae for a while now. Their swordtails are kind of nibbling it here and there. They're not nibbling it as fast as I would have expected. So I'll probably have to dose with some hydrogen peroxide just to kind of clean things up a little bit. The plants, they're doing well. They have, for the most part, a little bit of algae here and there. They're not terrible, It's looking really nice. These Japan Shigas are just taking off. There's a couple of them on the left side here that kind of died off. That was due to the fact that originally this tank was covered with just other plants that kind of just hung over and just like blocked a lot of the sunlight from the Erios. And right now I'm just trying to recover that, and then they'll bounce back and no problem. I'll go ahead and split some of these and put them outside into the rack as well. And while we're at it, here's a quick glimpse of the Planet Reef tank. It's super messy right now. Trying to get rid of a lot of these plants here in terms of selling them off. Once I can sell off a lot of these plants, I can clean it up a lot better. So if you guys are interested in some macroalgae for your reef tank, I have plenty. Check out the website, purelyaquatic.com. There's plenty of them on there. I'm trying to sell a lot of these macroalgae in this tank so that I can consolidate into the rack system and kind of like clean this tank up a little bit better. So a couple quick updates on the frags and whatnot that I have. The zoas are doing fine. The SPS are all pretty much melted and dead, so I can't really keep SPS for whatever reason. It's probably because the parameters in the tank, I don't really check some of the parameters, and actually really need to. So I'll probably check the parameters after this video to see where we're at. I honestly check maybe like once a month to make sure that, you know, my water changes hasn't like gone out of whack, or, you know, certain things is like not spiking weird. But for the most part, you know, things are thriving in terms of the plants. Some of the corals are doing really nice, so I know that it's somewhat, you know, in the ballpark at least. The clam is doing fine. So yeah, for the most part, I think that should be good. All right, so we're outside in the garage here. I went ahead and turned off the filters for the systems because they're super loud anyways, and you guys won't be able to hear me. But I wanted to share some interesting stuff. So this is the tank with all the swordtails up in here. I'll probably selectively pick certain ones, like for example, like these ones are a little bit more orange. These ones, like this male here has more of a red cap, and that's kind of the color I'm wanting to go for, like this dark red orange in terms of like these colors here. But you know, from the fries that they're having, I'll probably, you know, selectively breed certain ones there and here. So what was interesting is like when they would have, you know, babies or whatever, they would get stuck up in there, float down here, and get stuck in this chamber here. And a lot of fries were in here, and the way I would just get them is, there's only one way out, obviously. I would just pull this, have a net down here and catch all the fry, and go ahead and put them inside. And then here are the rainbows in here. I did put in one swordtail here just to kind of like munch on the algae that may be on the plants from transferring, but you know, for the most part, there's really no algae. But you know, he's in here, just the little guy. He was one of the little guys that was in the 60p that was kind of graduating into this tank, so I went ahead and put him in there. You know, everybody's doing nice. I mean, look at this red one. Look how bright red he is. Look at all these other rainbows. They love it out here. More room to swim, more, you know, flow. They're really liking it. I want to show you guys here. Here are the Pogo Kimberleys. We have a bunch of these guys in stock here, guys. These are beautiful, gorgeous plants. If you guys don't know what it is, check this out right here. I'll show you right now. Look at that. And actually, because the tank's a little short here, they're not getting their full height. They actually get pretty thick, and you see how like purple this is? The tops here will get super purple and super nice. I don't know if you can kind of see here some of the leaves, but they are really nice. So a ton of these are available on the website, pureaquatic.com. Make sure you guys check it out if you guys want to buy some of these plants. And we'll have some Liguiga red pantanos, these ones here, available soon. I'm trying to propagate them out. I only had a couple of those, but those will come out soon. And I do have some Liguiga curlies available on the website as well. Just a few of those right now. As you can see, I'm still trying to propagate a few of these. And then the Japan Shigas, I am trying to propagate these for you guys because I know a lot of people ask about these. I will start, you know, growing these out here for you guys. Eventually, you know, these will be available and hopefully at a good price for you guys later on to buy. So if you guys are interested in any plants, make sure you guys check out the website like I mentioned. And on the other side, more plants are growing out here. Eventually I'll get some of these available for you guys. And you guys can check out the different species that we're trying to get. Liguiga whites I'm trying to grow out. Some version of this, I forget, something Magnus, I forget. Some other Rotellas out there, Toninas, a bunch of these. That one's doing okay. We'll see what happens. I'm not sure what's going on there. But yeah, hopefully they do well and they propagate for you guys. Quickly down here, this is just temporary for this light. I had an extra light I'm using until I can actually get the other two lights like that down here. But some plants are growing down here. Some old school plants that I had, these are high-grow tigers, I forget what they are. They grow like weed pretty much, and they like to propagate on the floor. But the actual patterns on these guys, if you can see here, they look super nice. They're really well for low-tech plants, and you know, this is in a high-tech environment, so they'll grow a little bit faster, but those will be available soon. And then some other Rotella, I think butterfly, and then some Rotellas, I forget what these are called. Really nice in color. Those will come up soon. And finally, the tank that I really want to give you guys an update on is my Altum Angel tank. So right now there's a lot of floating plants, you know, they're just kind of like waiting to be sold. Once they're sold, I'll clean that section up. A lot of the other plants are growing in really slowly. The CO2 is for the most part dialed in. There's still algae here and there. The reason why is the CO2 ran out a couple days and it kind of just like went crazy, and then I'm trying to kind of dial it back in now. But I also do random, like maybe every couple months, proactive like treatment in terms of like flukes and just like random diseases here and there, just to kind of be proactive so that, you know, things don't get out of hand in terms of all the tanks. Because I have, you know, a lot of tanks, a lot of nice fishes, and I want to be proactive to keep them, you know, healthy and whatnot. So the other reason was I do have a UV sterilizer in this tank, and it hasn't been turned on for almost 2 weeks. And then, you know, some of the algae here and there will take off because of that. But once I do turn it back on, and I haven't been able to turn it back on yet, maybe actually today or tomorrow, I think the medicine should be over. Whenever the treatment's over, I'm gonna go ahead and turn it back on, and, you know, most of this algae will disappear. So I'm not too worried about that. And plus, some of the algae here and there is nice for the autos that are in this tank. Well, the few autos that are in the tank right now to graze on. If you guys remember when I first got these guys, they were about a quarter size in body in terms of, you know, just their body without the fins. And they've grown so big now. So let me kind of give you guys a reference. So this is a quarter right now. So I'm going to kind of put it up next to them. And you can kind of see how big they are compared to that quarter when I first got them. Obviously, some of them were slightly bigger than this quarter, maybe, you know, a dollar coin, you know, slightly bigger than this, but they've grown so big, so massive. And these guys are absolutely pigs. They absolutely, everything I throw at, you know, at them, they'll eat and destroy like anything and everything. So, and that's why they're growing so big and so healthy. It's just because they eat everything. And, you know, all 6 of these guys look super healthy. There's only one of them that looks like really small. It's this guy here. That's the smallest. And he's always been the smallest when he, you know, when I first got him or her or whatever. And the biggest one is probably the dominant one, is always like eating everything. But as you can see here, as they grow, a lot of their stripes on their bars, I guess, is what the disc is called. I'm not really sure what it's called in an angel, but I'm gonna call it a bar. The bars on the angels are developing really nicely. I hope that it comes out really like nice and black, kind of similar to some of these guys over here. And, you know, the lines are really pronounced, really nice. So as they get older, I'm hoping that, you know, they do have some of these nice ones. And, you know, as they get older, you know, obviously, you know, out of 6, there's going to be a male and a female in this, and hopefully they don't get crazy and start fighting each other because they're going to pair off. And I think that might happen. And if that does happen, let's see here. The only tank that I could probably house them in is probably one of the 60Ps. And the 60P in terms of for an angel, the height isn't quite there. Obviously, you want the height to be a little bit taller than the actual angels themselves, because as you can see here, their little fin span is super long. And, you know, having them in that tank, literally, they'll just be like that whole tank. So if I do put them in that tank or one of those tanks, it'll literally have to be a bare bottom 60P if I want to breed them in there. But, you know, when the time comes, and if, let's say, it gets too aggressive, too crazy, I may end up having to do that where I have to move them out. But generally right now in a school or in a pack of them, I think they're fine. Now the addition that I want to add into the tank here is some more autos to help, you know, obviously control some of the algae here when I don't have, you know, either CO2 on, or when I have like my UV sterilizer out or something, you know, out of whack, so that, you know, the tank is always under control. I'm going to add probably about 15 to 20 more autos. Right now I think I have like 3 from my original like setup from a while back, and I haven't added any other fish other than an SAE and 2 skunk loaches, which were also in my previous 125 gallon. So I hope by adding, you know, that many autos, it help, you know, control a lot of the algae issues. And then I also have a scraper over here. You know, I scrape mainly the front tank just for viewing purposes. Obviously the back, the side, I can also scrape, but it's just like, yeah, whatever, right? It's there, it's gonna grow back, whatever, it's natural. I honestly don't really mind as much. It's more of just viewing purposes for you guys and for me, you know, to look at them as well. So yeah, this tank went through a couple changes here and there, but for the most part, I think I'm just gonna keep the same layout here, kind of you know, group the plants up a little bit more so it's more dense. The back plants will grow, you know, tall with the stem plants, and then, you know, hopefully that fills in really nicely, and we'll see what actually happens from there. Now I'm hoping that I can take care of the algae issue, have the plants all grow back in nicely, and maybe possibly enter this into one of the ADA contests that they have every year next year. We'll see what happens. You know, the scape is, you know, not terrible. The tank itself is meh. It's getting there. To be honest, it's not quite there. It's not quite to the level that I would like it to be because of the algae, and also the plants aren't really growing in as fast as I like, but we'll see what happens. So yeah, so that's a quick update, guys, on all my tanks, things I'm working on, things I'm doing. I hope you guys enjoy the video, and also if you guys haven't entered to the 5K sub contest, make sure you guys do. I'll have the link below in terms of how you can enter. It's literally click on the video and add a comment below and you're entered in. I'll probably do the drawing sometime in October, maybe probably second week of October or something like that. So make sure you guys enter in for a chance to win some dragon stones or an ADA diffuser. Well guys, until next time, peace. Check out how black their stripes get and how excited they get when I actually start giving them food, or they know that I'm about to feed them. Look at that. Look at the colors in those. Look how awesome that is.
I won't lie down, and I won't, I won't lie down, and I can't do this without you. I won't lie down, and I won't, I won't lie down, and I can't do this without you.